A contractor will never tell you this to your face. But walk through his house, and the truth is written in every wall, every floor, and every mechanical room. It is a completely different building than the one he just finished for you. This is not speculation. We have spent time with framers, plumbers, tile setters, and insulation contractors across Ontario, Alberta, and British Columbia, and the pattern is identical every single time. The materials they specify for their clients and the materials they use on their own properties are not the same products. They are not even close. And once you understand the gap between those two lists, you will never look at a renovation quote the same way again. Let's go through it room by room. Start with the basement. When a Canadian contractor finishes a client's basement, the standard package looks like this. 2x4 wood stud walls framed an inch off the concrete, fiberglass bad insulation stuffed between the studs, a polyethylene vapor barrier stapled to the face, and drywall screwed over top. It is fast. It is cheap. It is what the client sees in the showroom rendering, and it is what fills the contractor's schedule from September to April every year across the country. Now walk into that same contractor's own basement. The walls are different. There are no wood studs touching or running parallel to the concrete. Instead, the foundation wall is covered in 2 to 3 inches of closed-cell spray foam applied directly to the concrete surface, followed by rigid foam board, followed by a thermal break, and then the framing. There is no fiberglass. There is no polyethylene vapor barrier stapled to wood, because the contractor knows what you do not. Wood framing against a Canadian concrete foundation wall is a mold farm waiting to activate. The concrete is cold. The interior air is warm and humid. The fiberglass bat holds moisture. The polyethylene traps it. The wood rots. Every experienced contractor in Canada has torn out a basement renovation that looked perfect from the outside and found black mold across every stud bay inside. He has done that job enough times that he would never build it that way in his own home. But he will build it that way in yours because you asked for the standard package, and the standard package is what the budget allows. Move upstairs to the floor. A contractor building a custom home for a client in 2024 will install engineered hardwood throughout the main floor. It photographs beautifully. It has a 25-year wear warranty printed on the box. It is the #1 flooring product sold in Canada right now. In the contractor's own home, the main floor is either solid hardwood, large format porcelain tile, or polished concrete. Not because he is a snob, because he has watched engineered hardwood fail. He has gotten the call 3 years after installation when the clicks start, when the edges cup, when the joints open up in February, when the humidity in the house dropped and the HDF core contracted. He has gone back to jobs and seen the floor he installed look like a potato chip. He does not have that product under his own feet. He has something that will outlast him, but it costs 40% more and it takes twice as long to install, and the client chose the engineered option because it was in the budget. Now look at the windows. When a contractor installs windows in a client's home, the spec is almost always a mid-grade vinyl window from one of the major Canadian manufacturers. They are double pane with a low E coating and argon fill. It meets code, it passes the energy audit, and it looks clean in the frame. The contractor's own windows are triple pane with a fiberglass or aluminum-clad frame and an insulated spacer bar between the panes. The difference matters enormously in a Canadian climate. A double-pane vinyl window in a Manitoba or Northern Ontario home loses a significant portion of its argon fill within 10 to 15 years as the seals degrade. The insulating value drops. Condensation forms on the interior surface in deep winter. The window that passed the energy audit on installation day is performing well below spec by year 12. Triple-pane windows with superior frame materials hold their thermal performance for the life of the building. The contractor knows this. He priced triple-pane windows into his own renovation without blinking. He did not offer it to you because it would have put him $8,000 over the quote he needed to win the job. Now go outside and look at the deck. Client decks across Canada are built with pressure-treated lumber from the big box store, screwed together with cheap zinc-plated hardware, and finished with a brush-on deck stain that needs to be reapplied every 2 years. It looks fine on completion day. By year 4, the boards are checking and splitting. By year 7, the joists are soft. By year 10, the deck is a liability. The contractor's own deck is a different structure entirely. The framing is built with properly graded and dried lumber, elevated on adjustable hidden post bases that keep the wood out of ground contact. The decking surface is either a premium hardwood like IPE or a composite product with a solid core and a 25-year warranty. The fasteners are stainless steel or hot-dipped galvanized, not zinc-plated, because zinc plating fails within 2 Canadian winters in ground-adjacent applications. The ledger connection to the house is properly flashed and sealed with a self-adhering membrane, not a bead of caulk. That ledger connection is the most common point of catastrophic deck failure in Canada. The contractor knows this. He built his own correctly. He built yours to the budget you approved. Look at the mechanical room. A client's hot water tank is an electric or gas unit from a big box store, installed on the floor of the utility room. It has a 6-year warranty and a functional lifespan of 8 to 12 years. The contractor's home has a power-vented or tankless unit mounted on the wall with a drip pan, an expansion tank on the supply line, and isolation valves on both the inlet and the outlet so the unit can be serviced or replaced without draining the system. The difference in parts and labor between those two installations is less than $600. The difference in long-term performance and serviceability is the difference between a maintenance item and an emergency. The contractor chose the correct configuration for himself. He installed the standard configuration for you because the quote was already tight and you never asked what was behind the drywall. Here is what this all means. The contractor is not always a villain. Most of the time, he is building exactly what you hired him to build at exactly the price you agreed to pay. The problem is the information gap. You do not know what questions to ask. You do not know that there are 2 versions of every product, 2 ways to frame every wall, 2 approaches to every detail. You see the finished surface and you assume the structure behind it matches the quality of the paint. It does not. The contractor who builds his own home has one client with unlimited access to his knowledge and 0 budget pressure to cut corners. That is the home that gets the closed-cell foam, the triple-pane windows, the stainless fasteners, and the properly flashed ledger. Your home gets the standard package because nobody told you there was another option. Now you know there is another option. The next time you sit across from a contractor and review a quote, you know exactly which questions close that gap. Ask him what he would use if he were building it for himself, and watch his answer very carefully.